The greatest mistake most people make is believing that value is something granted by the world. They spend years trying to become more impressive, more admired, more visible, and more accepted. They believe that if enough people recognize them, respect them, praise them, or desire them, then they will finally become valuable. But Stoicism teaches something entirely different. Your value is not determined by the number of people who notice you. It is determined by the strength of your character when nobody is watching. This is one of the hardest truths to accept, because modern life trains us to seek constant validation. Every conversation becomes an opportunity to prove ourselves. Every achievement becomes something to display. Every opinion becomes something to defend. We begin measuring our lives according to reactions rather than convictions. Without realizing it, we surrender ownership of our identity to people who have never truly earned that power. The Stoics warned against this danger centuries ago. They understood that the person who depends upon applause is never truly free. The one who needs approval becomes a servant to changing opinions. Today's admiration becomes tomorrow's criticism, and the individual who lives by public acceptance is condemned to ride an endless emotional storm. Marcus Aurelius repeatedly reminded himself that the crowd is inconsistent. The same people who praise you today may ignore you tomorrow. Those who criticize you now may later admire the very qualities they once condemned. If your peace depends upon their judgment, your peace will never remain stable. The truly valuable individual lives differently. He understands that his character is his greatest possession. It cannot be purchased. It cannot be stolen. It cannot be diminished by insult nor inflated by compliments. It grows quietly through discipline, integrity, patience, and self-mastery. Ironically, this inner independence is precisely what makes others respect him. People instinctively recognize strength that does not beg to be seen. They notice the individual who speaks only when necessary. They trust the person who remains calm while everyone else becomes emotional. They admire the man or woman who continues moving forward regardless of recognition. Real value radiates outward. It is never advertised. Today we will explore 8 Stoic principles that quietly transform the way others perceive you, not because they manipulate opinions, but because they transform the person beneath them. These principles have endured for nearly 2,000 years because human nature has not changed. Our fears are the same. Our temptations remain familiar. Our search for significance continues exactly as it did in the marketplaces of ancient Rome. If you absorb these lessons, you will discover something extraordinary. Your value increases the moment you stop trying to convince others that you possess it. The first principle is this: stop explaining yourself. Most people speak far too much about who they are. They explain their intentions before acting. They defend every decision. They justify every choice. They announce future plans before taking the first step. They desperately hope that if others understand them, they will receive acceptance. But every explanation contains hidden weakness. When you constantly justify yourself, you quietly communicate uncertainty. You suggest that your decisions require public approval before they deserve confidence. Instead of standing firmly upon your own judgment, you place your identity into the hands of spectators. Epictetus understood this deeply. He taught that no person controls another's opinion. Therefore, attempting to control it through endless explanation is both exhausting and impossible. You can spend hours defending yourself and still be misunderstood. You can present perfect reasoning and still encounter criticism. So why surrender your peace to an impossible task? The Stoic understands that actions possess greater authority than words. A person who constantly announces discipline often lacks it. A person who endlessly discusses ambition rarely accomplishes much. Meanwhile, the truly disciplined individual quietly builds his life without demanding recognition. Imagine 2 craftsmen. One spends every morning describing the magnificent building he intends to construct. He explains the design, the materials, the future beauty. and the admiration it will receive. The other says almost nothing. Every day he lays another stone. Months later, one possesses speeches. The other possesses a cathedral. History remembers builders, not promises. This principle extends into every part of life. When criticized unfairly, resist the urge to argue endlessly. When pursuing an important goal, avoid announcing every stage of progress. When misunderstood, remember that understanding is a gift, not a requirement. Your responsibility is not convincing everyone. Your responsibility is becoming someone whose actions eventually require no explanation. Silence often carries more confidence than the most brilliant argument. The second principle is to master your emotional responses before attempting to master your circumstances. Most people spend enormous energy trying to control the world. They want different co-workers, different governments, different weather, different families, different opportunities, different luck, but they neglect the one territory over which genuine authority is possible, their own mind. This is the foundation of Stoic philosophy. The dichotomy of control is not merely an intellectual exercise. It is a practical weapon against suffering. Everything outside your character belongs to uncertainty. Other people will disappoint you. Markets will fluctuate. Friends may leave. Health may decline. Unexpected hardship will arrive without invitation. Attempting to command these realities guarantees frustration. Marcus Aurelius faced war, political conspiracies, devastating plague, and personal tragedy throughout his reign. Yet his private writings reveal remarkable composure. Why? Because he refused to confuse influence with ownership. He influenced events where possible. He accepted outcomes where necessary. This distinction transformed his life. Consider what happens during conflict. Someone insults you. Most people immediately surrender. Control. Their heartbeat accelerates. Their emotions ignite. Their words become reckless. In seconds, another person's opinion begins directing their behavior. The Stoic refuses this surrender. He notices anger before becoming anger. He observes frustration before obeying frustration. He creates space between stimulus and response. Within that space lives freedom. This freedom cannot be purchased. It cannot be inherited. It must be practiced daily. Each difficult conversation becomes training. Each disappointment becomes exercise. Each insult becomes another opportunity to strengthen emotional discipline. Eventually something remarkable occurs. The situations remain difficult, but you no longer become difficult because of them. People notice this. Calmness has enormous psychological power because it is increasingly rare. While others panic, you remain thoughtful. While others complain, you seek solutions. While others become reactive, you become deliberate. Without announcing your strength, it becomes unmistakable. The third principle is to cultivate strategic absence. Modern culture encourages constant visibility. Be available. Respond immediately. Share everything. Remain active. Stay relevant. The Stoics would likely question this obsession. They understood that constant presence often reduces perceived value. What is always available is rarely treasured. What is constantly speaking is seldom carefully heard. Strategic absence is not arrogance. It is disciplined selectivity. Marcus Aurelius governed one of history's greatest empires, yet he regularly withdrew into solitude. Not because he rejected responsibility, because he understood that inner clarity requires distance from continuous noise. The modern mind fears silence. The phone vibrates. Notifications appear. Opinions flood every waking hour. Without realizing it, people become addicted to stimulation. They lose the ability to sit quietly with themselves. Yet, this quiet is precisely where wisdom develops. When you disappear periodically from unnecessary attention, something extraordinary happens. You begin hearing your own thoughts again. You stop measuring yourself against endless comparisons. Your ambitions become clearer. Your priorities sharpen. Your emotional dependence weakens. Others also begin noticing your absence. Scarcity naturally creates Significance. This principle appears throughout nature. The rarest gemstones become precious. The rarest opportunities receive the greatest attention. Likewise, people who reserve their energy, rather than scattering it everywhere, naturally command greater respect. This does not mean becoming cold or distant. It means refusing to make yourself endlessly accessible to distraction. Learn to leave conversations that diminish your character. Learn to ignore arguments that cannot improve your wisdom. Learn to spend entire evenings strengthening your own mind rather than entertaining strangers. Silence is not emptiness. It is preparation. Every hour invested in thoughtful solitude eventually appears as confidence, clarity, and purpose. The fourth principle is to welcome discomfort before life forces it upon you. The average person seeks comfort almost instinctively, the easier path, the softer chair, the shorter route, the immediate pleasure. At first glance this appears harmless, but repeated comfort quietly weakens the soul. The Stoics intentionally practiced voluntary discomfort, not because suffering itself possessed value, because resilience did. Seneca occasionally chose simple clothing. Despite enormous wealth, he ate plain meals. Despite access to luxury, he deliberately experienced temporary hardship so genuine hardship would never terrify him. This practice produced extraordinary psychological freedom. Imagine losing wealth after regularly reminding yourself that happiness never depended upon wealth. Imagine facing inconvenience after voluntarily embracing inconvenience throughout your life. Imagine encountering difficulty after repeatedly proving that difficulty cannot defeat your spirit. Suddenly adversity loses much of its power. Today's world encourages immediate gratification. If you feel bored, entertain yourself instantly. If you feel hungry, satisfy yourself immediately. If something becomes difficult, abandon it for something easier. These habits slowly convince the mind that discomfort is an emergency, but discomfort is often the birthplace of transformation. Muscles grow through resistance. Wisdom develops through mistakes. Character forms under pressure. Patience emerges through waiting. Confidence appears after surviving experiences once believed impossible. Every meaningful achievement requires temporary discomfort. The Stoic therefore stops asking, "How can I avoid difficulty?" Instead, he asks, "How can this difficulty strengthen me?" That single question transforms every obstacle into education. You begin viewing setbacks as instructors rather than enemies. Failures become information. Criticism becomes refinement. Waiting becomes patience. Loss becomes perspective. Over time, you develop something that cannot be faked: quiet resilience. And resilience has immense value because it cannot be borrowed from anyone else. The fifth principle is perhaps the most misunderstood of all. Protect your inner life with fierce discipline. Many people believe openness automatically creates authenticity. So they reveal every emotion, every ambition, every insecurity, every conflict, every future plan. But the Stoics understood that not everything valuable should be publicly displayed. A seed grows strongest beneath the soil before emerging into daylight. Likewise, your greatest transformations often require privacy. When every goal receives immediate public attention, your energy becomes divided. Part of your motivation shifts from accomplishing the objective to maintaining the image of someone pursuing it. This subtle shift weakens genuine progress. There is enormous strength in quiet preparation. Allow your habits to mature before discussing them. Allow your discipline to become consistent before seeking recognition. Allow your dreams to develop roots before exposing them to the winds of public opinion. People frequently sabotage themselves by inviting too many voices into deeply personal journeys. One friend encourages, another doubts. Someone else laughs, another offers conflicting advice. Soon the original vision becomes blurred beneath countless external opinions. Marcus Aurelius wrote many of his reflections privately. He did not compose them for applause. He wrote to refine his own soul. That distinction matters enormously. Not every victory requires an audience. Not every lesson demands announcement. Not every improvement needs validation. Your inner life is sacred territory. Guard it carefully. The strongest oak spends years growing roots that no one ever sees. Only later does the visible strength become undeniable. Your character follows the same law. Every unnoticed act of discipline becomes another invisible root. Every temptation resisted deepens stability. Every quiet promise kept to yourself strengthens integrity. Eventually, people notice the tree. They rarely understand the years spent building the roots beneath it, but those unseen roots are the true source of its strength. The sixth principle is this: become impossible to manipulate. Very few people recognize how much of their behavior is directed by invisible strings. They believe they are making independent choices, yet their moods rise and fall according to compliments, criticism, inclusion, rejection, success, and failure. A single message can brighten their day. A single insult can destroy their peace. A stranger's opinion can occupy their thoughts for weeks. Without realizing it, they have handed the steering wheel of their life to everyone except themselves. The Stoics regarded this as one of the greatest forms of slavery. Epictetus, who spent part of his life as an actual slave, understood that physical chains were not the only chains capable of imprisoning a human being. The more dangerous chains were psychological. A person who cannot control his own reactions becomes dependent upon external events for emotional stability. Such a person is easily manipulated because anyone who can provoke his emotions can control his decisions. Think carefully about this. Every time someone deliberately angeres you and succeeds, they have directed your attention exactly where they wanted it. Every time someone provokes envy within you, they have distracted you from your own path. Every time you desperately seek someone's approval, you have placed your confidence into hands that may never deserve it. Freedom begins when these invisible strings are cut. The Stoic trains himself to observe emotion without becoming possessed by it. This does not mean suppressing feelings or pretending they do not exist. Stoicism is not emotional numbness. It is emotional leadership. Imagine standing beside a river after heavy rain. The water rushes violently, carrying branches, stones, and debris downstream. Most people jump into that current every time an emotion appears. Anger carries them away. Fear carries them away. Excitement carries them away. Their entire identity changes according to whichever emotion happens to be strongest. The Stoic stands on the riverbank. He sees the current. He acknowledges its force, but he does not surrender himself to it. This simple distinction changes everything. When temptation arrives, he notices it without immediately obeying it. When anxiety appears, he examines it before accepting its story. When praise comes, he enjoys it without depending upon it. When criticism arrives, he evaluates whether it contains truth before allowing it to affect his character. Such a person becomes extraordinarily difficult to manipulate. People eventually recognize that emotional games no longer work. Provocations receive composure. Flattery receives humility. Insults receive thoughtful silence. Pressure receives patient judgment. This quiet independence creates a kind of invisible authority. Not because the Stoic seeks dominance over others, because he has finally gained dominion over himself. And there is no greater demonstration of strength than a person who cannot be emotionally purchased. The seventh principle is to let your standards become higher than your desires. Modern society encourages people to chase whatever they want. Want more money. Want more attention. Want greater comfort. Want instant pleasure. Want constant excitement. Desire itself becomes the compass, but desire is an unreliable guide. Desires change daily. Today's obsession becomes tomorrow's regret. Today's excitement becomes tomorrow's boredom. If your life follows every passing impulse, you will never build anything lasting. The Stoics replaced desire with principle. Instead of asking, "What do I feel like doing?" they asked, "What kind of person do I wish to become?" That question produces entirely different decisions. Suppose you wake early in the morning. Your desire tells you to remain in bed. Your standard reminds you that discipline matters more than comfort. Suppose someone insults you publicly. Your desire urges immediate retaliation. Your standard reminds you that dignity is worth more than winning an argument. Suppose an opportunity appears that promises quick wealth through dishonest means. Your desire becomes excited. Your standard quietly asks whether temporary gain is worth permanent damage to your character. This is how great lives are built, not through occasional moments of extraordinary motivation, but through ordinary moments of unwavering standards. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the soul becomes colored by the nature of its thoughts. What occupies your attention eventually shapes your identity. If your thoughts revolve around pleasure, comparison, envy, and reputation, those qualities slowly become your character. If your thoughts revolve around justice, courage, wisdom, and self-control, those virtues gradually define your life. Every repeated choice paints another stroke upon the canvas of your soul. Most people underestimate how small decisions accumulate. One unnecessary excuse seems insignificant. One broken promise appears harmless. One abandoned habit feels temporary. Yet character is rarely destroyed in dramatic moments. It erodes through countless small compromises. Likewise, greatness is rarely built through spectacular achievements alone. It grows through quiet consistency. One disciplined morning, one honest conversation, one temptation resisted, one responsibility fulfilled despite inconvenience. These small victories compound over years until the person standing before the world appears remarkably strong. Observers often call such individuals naturally confident. They assume resilience is an inherited gift. They rarely see the thousands of invisible choices that produced it. Your standards determine your future far more reliably than your desires ever will. Raise your standards high enough, and your value rises naturally alongside them. Not because you demand respect, because your life quietly becomes worthy of it. The eighth and final principle is to become your own greatest witness. This may be the most important lesson of all. Ask yourself a simple question. If every audience disappeared tomorrow, who would you become? If there were no applause, no criticism, no social recognition, no public reputation, would you still pursue excellence? Would you still speak honestly? Would you still keep your promises? Would you still wake early to improve yourself? Would you still choose integrity over convenience? These questions reveal whether your character belongs to you or to the crowd. The Stoics believed that the most meaningful relationship any human being possesses is the relationship with his own conscience. When you betray your own principles, no amount of public admiration can repair the damage. When you remain faithful to your character, no amount of public criticism can truly diminish you. This is profound freedom. The world constantly attempts to define success through visible measurements, titles, followers, luxury, popularity, influence. These things may come. They may also disappear without warning. History repeatedly reminds us how quickly fortunes change. Empires collapse. Fashions fade. Reputations shift. Entire generations forget names once considered unforgettable. Marcus Aurelius himself ruled the most powerful empire on earth. Yet he spent remarkably little time contemplating fame. Instead, he asked himself whether he had lived honorably, whether he had acted justly, whether he had fulfilled his responsibilities with wisdom. Those were the measurements that mattered. They remain the only measurements that truly endure. Imagine reaching the end of your life. You will not ask how many strangers approved of you. You will ask whether you lived according to your deepest convictions, whether fear dictated your choices, whether comfort stole your potential, whether distractions consumed your attention, whether your actions reflected the person you hoped to become. No audience can answer those questions. Only you can. This realization transforms ambition itself. You stop competing with everyone around you. You begin competing only with yesterday's version of yourself. Every day becomes an opportunity to strengthen one more virtue, one more habit, one more promise, one more act of courage. Gradually, something extraordinary happens. The respect you once chased begins arriving naturally. People notice your steadiness. They trust your words because they match your actions. They admire your calm because it survives difficult circumstances. They value your presence because it is not desperate for attention. Ironically, the less you seek importance, the more significant you become. Not because you manipulated perception, because genuine character possesses a quiet gravity that people instinctively recognize. The Stoics never promised an easy life. They never claimed discipline would eliminate hardship or that wisdom would prevent suffering. Instead, they offered something infinitely more valuable. They offered the possibility of becoming the kind of person whom hardship cannot corrupt, the kind of person who remains honest when deception appears profitable, who remains patient when anger seems justified, who remains humble when success invites arrogance, who remains courageous when fear whispers retreat. That is true value. It cannot be purchased. It cannot be inherited. It cannot be borrowed from impressive friends or expensive possessions. It is forged one decision at a time inside the private moments when no one is watching. Perhaps this is why Stoicism continues to speak across centuries. Empires have risen and fallen since Marcus Aurelius wrote his private reflections. Civilizations have transformed. Technology has advanced beyond imagination. Yet the human heart still struggles with the same temptations, the same fears, and the same longing for significance. The answer has never changed. Master yourself before attempting to master the world. Guard your mind more carefully than your reputation. Choose principles over popularity. Let discipline become your identity. Welcome obstacles as opportunities to refine your character. Protect your peace from the opinions of those who neither know your struggles nor determine your destiny. And above all, remember this. Your value does not rise when the world finally notices you. Your value rises the moment you become someone whose character no longer depends upon the world. That is the quiet power the Stoics understood. It asks for no applause. It seeks no permission. It fears no criticism. And once it is cultivated within you, nothing outside of you can ever take it away.